Hello nerds, and welcome back to episode number 5 of Birdsong Lessons with me, Lucy Lapwing. I've just realised you can see my Simba hot water bottle. Sorry, not sorry. It's really cold. Anyway, so it's episode 5 of Birdsong Lessons. So far in the series we have covered the blackbird, the robin, the wren and the song thrush, and today's songster is another member of the thrush family. So it might be useful to go back and have a look at the previous lessons, particularly blackbird and song thrush for today's lesson. And also check out the introduction if you want some advice on apps and books and websites and just some tips on how to actually start learning birdsong. So today's bird is actually one that quite a lot of people don't even realise exists. It somehow seems to slip under the radar, and I think that's because it visually gets confused with another bird and then audibly gets confused with a different bird. So it is of course the mistle thrush, the song thrush's cousin, and they can really visually look very similar. They can be quite tricky to tell apart. So a few little visual tips I have to tell the difference is that the song thrush is stockier and kind of stouter, and it's a warmer brown colour. So it's got this warm brown back, it's got a cream buff underbelly and speckles on the chest. The mistle thrush in comparison is often a bit more upright, it's quite skinny looking, it's a bit more of a grey brown, so less of that warm, a bit colder. And again, it's got a white underbelly, a paler underbelly and speckles on its chest. Now there is a difference between the speckles, which I think helps quite a lot. Song thrushes have got quite chunky, round speckles that are kind of like a spade shape like this. And mistle thrushes are kind of inverted, very sharp speckles, so they're like that. They look like a thorn, so I tend to think mistle, as in mistletoe is a plant, plants have thorns, mistle thrush, thorny speckles. That's how I remember. Anyway, we'll get on to how to tell the difference in terms of their song. Now, mistle thrushes are actually a brilliant bird to learn at this time of year, and that's why I've included them so early on in the series, because they're a songster that start really early on, still in the winter. Now, audibly, they can sound really similar to blackbirds, but as I said, you won't be as likely to get them singing in your gardens and your urban areas, your parks and places like that. So statistically, you're much more likely to come across a blackbird singing. So just because it sounds very similar to the blackbird doesn't mean you can't tell the difference. There are differences to pick up on. So we'll play it, have a listen and see what those are. There you go. Now you might think straight away, that sounds exactly like a blackbird, what are you on about? And it is very similar. It's got that deep tone, like a whistle, an old bloke's whistle, and it sings and pauses, and it sings and pauses, but there are a couple of differences that can help you. So first of all, listen to that structure. Although it's a sing, pause, it's much faster than the blackbird. So we'll play the mistle thrush again. And then just compare that with the spacing in the blackbird. So hopefully you can see there the difference in the spacing. If we go back to the mistle thrush, the second thing is the tone. Now I like to think of a mistle thrush as sounding like a really moody, stroppy blackbird. It sounds like a right whinge bag. That blackbird has got that joy in it. It's got that, I don't know, it's kind of like hope, it's warmth. It's got that really lovely warm energy to the tone. The mistle thrush on the other hand, no offence mistle thrush, I love you, but it sounds like a whinge bag. So if you just listen. It's kind of like, yeah, I'll sing I guess. Hopefully you can just pick up on that mood, if that's the right word, to tell the difference between the two. Now I did get a really good tip in my inbox on Twitter from Dominic Cousin, so thank you Dominic, on how to tell the difference between the three main thrushes, so blackbird, song and mistle. If you've got to imagine that they are the professor speaking at the front of a lecture and you're trying to write down notes. So blackbird, really helpful. He'll say something and then he'll pause to give you enough time to write it down what he said. So he'll talk, pause, you write the notes. The song thrush is also quite helpful, so it'll speak and repeat what he said 2 to 3 times so you get the gist and you can write it down. So say something again, say it maybe again, and you can write it down. The mistle thrush, on the other hand, not so helpful. He speaks, pauses very briefly, carries on speaking, doesn't care if you're keeping up to speed with your notes, speaks again. Oh my god, Mistle Thrush, I can't keep up. Oh no, you're speaking again. So it's really difficult to keep up with the pace of a Mistle Thrush. It's just that much faster than a blackbird if you were trying to write down what they were saying. So there you go. Hopefully that should help with Mistle Thrush. And if you are having a little bit of a walkout at the moment, it's during lockdown, so if you're doing your daily exercise and you hear something that sounds like that, it could be the Mistle Thrush. So just listen to that pace. Listen if it sounds like a whinge bag, and you might have a Mistle Thrush that you're dealing with. Again, they can sing from a prominent perch, and they sing quite a lot at this time of year. So keep an ear out and let me know if you hear one. If you've got another way of remembering them, one that can perhaps beat Dominic's, let us know in the comments. And if you've got any questions about the differences, this one can be quite tricky, please do ask and I will get back to you. So thanks again very much for watching. Do subscribe for more lessons, and I'll see you all soon.